What do you do?
I'm a shadow coach. I work with political leaders, corporate leaders, medical practitioners. What I do is I work with them to see how they exist in the context of their worlds. So I work with their Jungian shadows, in other words, their fears, their insecurities, their hidden talents that haven't come to light yet, in the context of their environments, in chaotic environments that just unfold at the speed of light. So I'm able to see truth as it happens, coach them on reality, not perceptions, and to be able to work with them in laser sessions throughout our days, however long I'm working with them, to help them become who they could be, remove or let go of what they have to let go of, and literally make very important decisions in very complex, turbulent environments. So that includes task forces and emergency response centers and high-level government and political systems in many countries, so culture comes to play as well. What's happening in the world right now is very relevant. Some of my clients have people in the field in 175 countries. What does that entail? And what is their security and their well-being and their families, and how well are they doing when they're posted in other countries overseas? So it's a fascinating world for me.
You are literally a shadow in their existence. You come into their lives and work with them within the context of their lives.
Absolutely. I need to see what is the environmental influence, what is the societal influence, the organizational perspective that they have to keep in mind in order for them to do their jobs. They also impact people in a profound way. So if they're making their decisions through their shadow side, as I call it, or their fears or insecurities, they're not making responsive decisions, they're making reactive ones. And that could impact people's lives. So if you want a very quick example, I was having a conversation with this really amazing US border guard. And I was saying to him, what has changed about your job? So he looked at me and he said, what do you mean? So I said, well, your job description has not changed since 9/11, am I right? He said, no, it hasn't. I said, but the context has changed. So what is different for you? He said, you know, I used to do things, I was very diligent about my job, but I didn't, wake up at night in a cold sweat wondering if somebody that I wasn't quite sure of might have been a terrorist. So the context has dramatically changed his world. I'm there to help him see that if he removes the shadow or removes that fear and insecurity about how he makes decisions, he'll be more open to bring in the person's body language, everything that they are, as they're sitting or standing opposite him before he lets them into the country. So it's an awareness factor for them. I help them become reflective practitioners. So they really self-shadow. They learn how to monitor, or use a barometer, I call it. When their gut's telling them they're very uncomfortable about this. Is it their programming? Is it something that, they had like a hidden fear that was influencing their decision? And I'm there to see the context, the environment, and how that impacts them in that realm.
You must have a special skill set, because I know that many high-level people like to work alone. How is it that you get access, and what do you do with your bright red hair? I mean, you're obviously in the office with them or in the field with them. How do you do that and not get in the way?
It's funny, I wear black or very dark colors so that I don't draw attention. When I'm like a shadow coach, I do not wear jewelry. The only thing I wear is my security badge, pretty much. And they tease me incessantly about my hair. So other than shave my head, this is it. So they actually get used to it and look for me when I'm running down the halls of a building to know where I am at any point in time. But I'm very still. I do not move. I don't rustle any paper. I am observing 100% of what's happening. I'll jot down notes in code so I could literally recreate moments in time for them later and become their partner in crime, so that we share the context from our various perspectives. They see what they pick up. They hear what I've picked up. We bring it together and we bridge the gap between where they are and where they want to be by removing roadblocks, allowing their talents and strengths to emerge, and to literally process exactly what's going on in their worlds so that they can move, shift, and evolve into their excellence. That's the bottom line.
Do they ever turn to you and say, what do I do? I mean, you're there, you're another person. Do you ever become a sounding board in a given high urgency situation?
Sometimes they do. They say, I don't know, what to do. I don't know how to move forward. And my answer is, this is not my area of expertise. Helping you learn how to make decisions that serve you is my role. So let's process it. Where are you unsure? What are you unsure of? What do you need to know that you don't know? Who do you need to know that you don't know in order to have the support that you need to move forward? And by doing that, what I do is clear the clutter, remove the fear, and help them see what pieces of the puzzle do they have to enter into this equation to make the appropriate decision. Or do they need to create space to reflect and to say, I need 5 minutes, I need to consult, so that they bring in the people that they really need to be brainstorming with.
You have another skill set. You work internationally, not just in Canada. How do you work internationally? You have clearance to work around the world. How do you think that you've gained the trust? What is it about you that has opened those doors?
It's really funny because when I work in Washington, my clients there absolutely share everything with me because I'm not American. It's the same with other countries. When I'm working at United Nations or people in a global capacity, they know I don't vote. I have no hidden agenda. My entire raison d'etre is to be there to help them, support them in what they have to do. So it's actually easier for them to trust somebody who is not of the same nationality because there is no hidden anything. When it comes to culture, though, I'm very clear. And I tell global leaders, it might be in a room with my client and myself, that if I in any way do anything that would seem to be insulting, please know it's not my intention. It's that I don't know some of their cultures and their cultural ways. And if they would be so kind as to let me know if that does happen, so I never do it again, I'd really appreciate it. Just by sharing that and telling them why I'm there, it goes a long way. And they absolutely appreciate the openness, the honesty before we even dive into the conversation or meeting. So it's great.
What about being a woman in this circumstance? Does that work for you or against you?
I don't think it has a role at all. Some of my clients will say that I'm able to see both sides of them, but that's more about my character and my personality profile than being a female. It absolutely has never been a factor. And I've never really viewed it as being a factor. In some countries in the Middle East, it would be. And I'm careful what contracts I choose because I do not want my sex or my gender or anything about me and being Canadian to at all impact the work that my client has to do. So if it would impact it, we have that conversation and I might remove myself and then work with my client offline.
What is your vision for the leaders that you serve? What is the outcome that you most desire when you are shadowing someone?
I call it dancing in real time. If they are able to contextualize and integrate their learning in real time so that they make informed decisions, they are at one with the chaos that they're living, that to me is everything. If I could help them create space in their world, space meaning conscious thinking time, breathing time, to be absolutely centered when they're doing the kind of work that they're doing, that to me is everything.